Good afternoon, Tommy. How are we?
Right. I'm very well. I was just looking at my pink tie.
It's good to see you. I know we originally planned to meet in the office, and you were coming up to do a night in I can never see the name, Tommy, but it's Angel Gateway Church, I call it,
Yeah,
in Forres. And now the person that was replacing you has got COVID, and I'm doing it tonight, the service in the church
that's
tonight. And normally when we come on at this time of year, it's to kind of get into the Christmas mood. Hence, I've got Santa parachuting in from above, and it's this time of year. There's a lot of people get down, Tommy, isn't there? Who are sad at this time of year. We want to try and
yeah,
reverse that a little bit today, don't we?
yeah. I mean, I think that people who have lost loved ones, I think, like, obviously birthdays, anniversaries, but especially Christmas time.
Hmm.
Uh, I like to go up to the cemetery on Christmas Day, then New
Yeah,
Year's Day, and
yeah. I think oh, it's a nice thing to remember.
all
Your
right,
loved ones. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realise that they're with us all the time, and that's part of the kind of our mission is to explain to people because we are just the men in the middle because we're the mediums, Tommy, aren't we?
well, I know I like to call myself a sandwich.
That's how much I like that.
We're stuck in the middle.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't realise is, um, we can all connect, can't we, Tommy? We can all connect to the divine or whatever you want to call it, or to our loved ones. And we get messages all the time. We just don't see them all the time. Even the best of us don't see them all the time.
And a lot of, I mean, even us ourselves, we get messages. No, I'll do that later, and before you know it, it's like like you're on catch up.
Yeah.
It's like when somebody comes up to you and says, "I was sitting down having a coffee and tea, and the phone went," and I said, "That'll be my Auntie Jean." And when you pick up the phone, it is your Auntie Jean.
I know. It's like very often I'm thinking my mother, all of a sudden she phones, or my sister, she phones there and then. It's like, or Angela, usually it's people you're close to, like Angela, my wife, and it's like, I haven't heard from her, and all of a sudden it's either Facebook or the phone. She's there, you know. Um, we can't escape, can we?
So, but it's nice to have that. What I would call like is when the how I would describe it is like a plug socket. When you put the plug in the socket, you turn the
Mm,
switch on, then it's like that's where the power.
yeah,
It's like boom. Oh, aye.
yeah. It's like I was really nervous doing the spiritual church for the first time last month. I haven't done a church service for a long time, although I'm doing my own shows and stuff. It is different, and it's more entertainment and stuff. With the churches, in some ways, can be classed as a bit more serious and formal. But the church we went to is serious and all that, but they're not. It's a lovely church and it's a very welcoming church, and it's only an hour. But it was so nice and relaxed, and the nerves just disappeared within the first connection. Um, and it was so nice to do, and it reminds us of the gift that we have, Tommy, and it's such a loving thing to be, such a privilege to be in the middle, isn't it?
I think it gives you uh, like the happiness when you give a message out and see the smile on people's faces.
Yeah.
I know that they are being watched over every
Yeah.
time. I
Mm.
mean, I still get nervous. It doesn't matter what church I do,
Yeah.
even like if I do evenings. Uh, I mean, me and the toilet are very, very close together.
Yeah. Well, saying that, I remember I was down at a bowling club when the first one did last February, and I kept rushing to the toilet, and I went, "Oh my god!" I think, "Is this a message?" Because I had nothing really dodgy that I was eating. And the first connection I got was somebody who had stomach cancer and bowel cancer as well. And that was it. That was a funny way of spirit letting me know they had
Yeah,
bowel. Make me go to the toilet. That's what happens, though, isn't it, Tommy?
it's it's strange. I mean,
Yeah.
you're getting this feeling that uh, that you know it's not you. So
Mhm.
you know it has to come from somebody else,
Yeah.
and it's just saying how
Yeah.
you feel, how you sense, and then there is somebody that will
Mm.
describe that somebody here on the airplane or somebody in spirit. That's a that's the way they pass.
Yeah. And I feel like when we're doing the work that we do, it can take its toll on us, and we can get tired from that feelings. And I keep saying to some of my students that come to spiritual development that if they're sitting next to people maybe going through trauma and stuff like that, a loss, and they feel things, and it's not actually them, it's the person next to them, and that's the empathy that
Yeah,
we've got very strongly, and the sensitivity of ourselves, and it's like we try to explain to people to ground themselves and to clear themselves, Tommy, don't we?
I think that's what I say to my students. It's very important, and you're probably likewise. Is
Mhm.
to make sure, like when you get up in the morning, you ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also
you ground
smile.
yourself. Eh?
Smile. We've got to smile, even though we don't feel like smiling.
Oh, look at the time.
I don't know.
But
Um,
I mean, it's like even like at the end of the night when you pull the duvet down and you place your bottom on the bed and you can thank them for
mm,
everything that they went through and you ask them for healing and like you get a good night's sleep.
yeah. And I think what people don't realise it, say, like for example, my father's come through to me a couple of times and lovely messages. But when he comes through to give me advice about cooking and stuff like that, I always say, he's winding me up here because I taught him how to cook because I was a chef and he struggled. I mean, well, it was a great pleasure to do that. And when he comes through with like, oh, you can do this and do that, I says, that's my dad. Like, it's just, he wasn't a brilliant cook. And now he's trying to tell me to cook. That's a
But
validation for me.
it's like my doubles, right, are non-existent. Uh, I call them torpedoes because they just sink to the bottom. And no matter how hard my granny tried to teach me how to do it, it never worked. It never worked. And looking back on my life and looking at my granny, how she did the tea leaves
Mm.
and I think that this is where everything started to like about me.
Yeah,
And it's strange. It takes something
yeah,
to veer you off your journey and
hmm,
place you on this journey.
yeah,
And it's a sensation that even yourself, that the beginning of your
hmm,
journey, how you're taking on people's pain,
yeah,
you're feeling, you're sensing, and it is
mm,
empathy. And and then when you begin to, I would say, right, when develop, because we're learning
yeah,
every single day.
hmm. And
I didn't
it's,
get the gold stars for it.
I know, it's like, you must do sometimes, but no, we do get rewarded because a lot that we do for out of goodwill for
Yeah,
nothing, just like this show is, yeah, yes, we're both professional, we both do things that we need paid for and stuff like that, and but a lot of times we do it out of love,
yeah,
and it's nice to get paid doing something you love doing, and I'm very honoured and lucky that way. But we do it out of love because I didn't choose this path, Tommy. I didn't, but we kind of fall onto it. I think you're right when you open up and you realise that it can help people, in what we do. And it's quite strange at first. It's quite spooky at first. It's quite, it's also quite funny as well. Once you relax into it.
It certainly is.
Yeah, and we both like humour and our events and stuff. We both love humour.
I
That,
I I think humour brings in upliftment and love and laughter.
yeah,
Is what we need.
yeah,
Because it's. I used to think it's all doom and gloom, and I can remember my first evening, and there was 4 mediums, and there was one I called Sandy Shaw because she didn't wear shoes, but no, when you're looking and you're wanting this what I would be like a reading, and even though that you don't receive it, it's like you can take bits of the message.
yeah,
I know, and when you go home and go, well, I got message. You're over the moon.
yeah. It's like I was in the show in Bucky, this Friday before, and I was drawn to somebody, and I says, "There's somebody from your work passed over." Quite close and a good banter, and you go, "Nope, nope, nope, nope." And his sister, she's like shaking. She knows me. She's like, "Yes, you have." This is like, "Yes, you have," and it was so. And then later on, he came. I was just in such a shock that I didn't know what to say. And I says, just have to say yes. You don't have to say anything. Just say, is it mean anything? Just go, yes. That's all you have to say. It's just a
Yeah,
validation that he's there and he's come in to say hello. There's Stephen Lowe saying hello, and he's been developing Medium as well within a few of my courses, and he's doing really well. His connections and stuff, and eventually we might have on the platform with me and you, Tommy.
be nice, be nice.
Yeah,
I think sometimes that if you can give a message, then it's. I dislike the word fledgling.
yeah. I
Uh,
just like it.
I think if you can sit down in circle and you're receiving, you're getting information, and you give it. Well, straight away it's mediumship.
Yeah,
It's, and I find that then it's like we're all like different paths, but some are faster than others.
yeah. And I feel that the ones that are quietest and the ones that think they overthink it, are the ones that are thinking, did I really get that? And the ones that are spot on, so
Aye.
spot on. Usually, like people like Stephen, it's like they're so right. Sometimes better than us, Tommy. It's like just hit it in the nail, and then they doubt it,
Oh,
and it's like they question it, and it's like they lose the message then.
I mean, I know I've done it. I've doubted myself on platform, and when you come off and like there was a medium came up to me and said, "Why did you doubt yourself?" I went,
Yeah,
but it's like because I used to question everything I get. A
yeah,
question.
hmm,
Because I'm a great believer is the message that you got goes to the right person.
yeah. And even some of the messages that we go to the right person, sometimes they have double meanings.
Yeah.
And it's I'll find when we're doing my events or shows that there's always a theme develops, Tommy. There's like a theme where it's a loss through suicide, for example, or it's a motherly thing, or somebody who's caring or ring after people. That theme seems to come through in the night or through the day.
It's like you're driving to an event and all of a sudden this song comes in your head. Why did I get that song? And
Yeah,
you see it. Well, listen, driving here, I had this song, blah, 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 and somebody puts their hand up and you're all, hence the reason why
yeah. And it's like there's Stephen saying hello and stuff, and then saying thank you. But it's like when we do doubt ourselves, and it's like I've seen me like tonight. I'm already picking up stuff for tonight, and it's like and fun stuff. And I know it's going to be probably the same people that were there the last time, so it's going to be, we'll need to find people that haven't went to, because, but, and that's the fear sometimes. But when you go there, it's just that being in that zone and sensing the other side's love for the people in front of us.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, Tommy. It's so heartwarming. It's that unconditional love, and to be part of that, it's just so moving, and it does nothing but uplift you, I feel.
I mean, it's like you're probably like myself when you're on platform and you give a message and you find them they're a bit distressed, and then I'll say, "Would you like me to stop?"
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll say no. But after the message, it's like you can go up and give them a wee hug.
Yeah, I do that. Well, yeah. Especially because a lot of people don't realise the law for mediums as well, and it's kind of terrible the way we have to use it as the Consumer Act now. Not even though we both kind of belong to churches and you're a minister and stuff, that we still have to abide by the law. We can't speak about certain things. We've got to be careful what we say sometimes, and people don't realise that when we're on platform that we are a little bit restricted at times.
I think it's strange because when I'm given a message and it's personal, I get a dog collar around somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and that means like my neck in, right? And then I'll say, "Would it be possible to speak to you after
Yeah.
the show?" And then that person is still with me,
Yeah,
in the background, and then just carry on.
yeah. That's the way I kind of see it. I always say there's some personal stuff I'll speak to you later on because we're not allowed to speak about, especially with like fertility and finance and health. We've got to be really, really careful what we say. It's not through choice. No, it's not through choice. It's through the laws that are put on us, and we have to be respectful. Or, I mean, for example, I had this in my Facebook events, and for some reason it was removed. And last year the same thing happened, Tommy, because I did one of my own. It was messages from the spirit world, and Facebook removed it. And it's happened, and that's why I've changed the word in the chat, Christmas chat with Derek and Tommy. Although the poster says 2 mediums. No, it's like we should maybe put 2 larges. It's like,
oh no, right.
Yeah, especially this time of year, the amount of food that we're going to eat and stuff. But and it's all good. But what it's one of anyone out there is interested in what we do as a developing medium. And any questions out there, guys, get your comments up. And if you want a wee reading or something, or if there's something that's been bothering you, maybe some paranormal activity or something, just give us a wee shout there, and me and Tom will answer it for you. But I'm trying to think of I've got a prayer to do tonight, and I want to do a fun Christmas prayer, and I'm trying to do it on. Last year we were not unemployed, but we couldn't work, and we were on universal credit because we couldn't work, and we were classed in the work that I do as a luxury product. But do we look after ourselves as a luxury product? We probably don't, Tommy. But I was quite surprised. We're a luxury product. What, a medium and a kind of psychic and a complementary therapist. We're a luxury class as a luxury product.
A luxury product. Hi, they call me Cammy.
And it was actually quite derogatory because it meant we didn't get classed as the same as normal work or anything like that, And I went, it was a bit harsh, but I just took the mickey out of it as I do and get on with it, and we did our best. But I thought it was quite funny though, the luxury product.
Different.
Yeah.
Listen, we could be bestsellers in Boots.
We could well be. And it's like, imagine we put spirit as a product, right? And we try to sell spirit, or try to spell awakenings, or how do you sell it?
For £1.
We can buy the Christmas spirit, you know what I mean? We'll put in a little bottle. Remember that? I think it was a few years ago. This guy made a fortune for bottling Irish air.
Oh,
Remember that? It was on the. And the guys, people bought it. You know, it just shows you that there's a bit of a bit of good marketing skills. You can sell anything, you know. But I think what we're trying to sell is basically the way I see the connection to the divine comes from in there, because we're all part of the same. We're all linked, and I think that's the message of Christmas in a sense. It's not just about Christ and the Christ message and stuff. It's actually about the connection that we've got to whatever source is up there, and we're all part of it. We're all made of the same stuff, and I think that's what Christmas reminds us of, is that connection. It is a happy connection.
as well as I remember my first Christmas special. Well, I wouldn't call it a special, but evening was the way I said it was Christmas. Well, it was Christmas. Could you treat it because it's festive?
Yeah.
And then it's like it's no sun outside; it's reindeer, and stupid things like that.
Yeah. And I think we got to bring the humour in, and I think it's a lot of people. Hello, Rosemary, and a lot of people, and Angela's saying hello there as well. A lot of people this time of year, and I had a couple of clients in this week, quite sad about Christmas. They don't like Christmas because they've lost people, and it's been a sad time. And I try and get to think, well, that was the past. And I says, why don't you create a really magical? And we're watching Christmas movies, and I'm getting right into it, the Christmas magic. And I think the whole idea of the St. Christopher, the Christmas, the Santa, is to bring back the magic. You know, it's like the goodwill, the kindness.
But the
Doesn't
media,
matter if you believe or not, you know.
media took over that, and let's all just.
Yeah.
I was watching one that was about the Air Force, and this governor came, and it's what they do in these tropical islands, and they're like getting donations, and they go out, and I actually thought it was quite nice.
Yeah. And it's like I love the buzz of Christmas, even though Christmas is a sad time for. I mean, I remember my loved ones that passed over, and it can be quite sad at times. And I've got a blog on that, but I'll put up the caption on loneliness, because every year I do a blog on loneliness. See if we can find it on here for people to link in my blog. And I say to people that sometimes being lonely is quite a good thing. It's like getting peace and quiet, and you can use that for a positive. You know, if you're lonely at Christmas, it's like, you know, imagine all Christmas movies you could watch, and you know, you could eat as much as you want on your own. And with nowadays, with all the technology, we're never really alone. You can pick up the phone, the Facebook, you're never alone. And with the Zooms now, and there's a lot of organisations out there, if you are totally alone, they'll talk to you at Christmas, like the Samaritans and stuff like that. And it's your attitude that makes us lonely, I think. I think it's all about keeping that positivity.
You've got to be positive, because I mean, same with me. That was like almost a year. I was off work, and I had that wee spell where, like, I felt sorry for Maggie because she was going out working.
Yeah.
And like she was doing extra shifts. She was tired, and it wasn't the poor me. It was just, but before you know it, I was uplifted by spirit, like my family, especially my son Ryan, and then all of a sudden we're like, wow, like.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. People do notice, and when we noticed ourselves when you come up to see us that I think Maggie just saw head that day, and we had the tea party, and it was such fun that day that we ended up staying over and doing other stuff after it. And I think Maggie took the night off because she needed it. and I think that's that. And that wasn't planned. The the spontaneity. I can't even say the word spontaneity.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, and it's doing something random, come out your comfort zone sometimes, and try something different, walk a different way home from work or something. It's like these little things do make a difference
Yeah.
because you bump into somebody or somebody you haven't seen for a while, or and I think that's what part of the message about being lonely. Is Angela saying hello? I
Hello.
press one. It's like I'm trying to get the captions back, the chat back, see if anyone else is saying hello. Rosemary Lowe saying hello. Rosemary Lowe, we're talking about lowness. It's like, that's spirit taking the mickey as well, Rosemary. But see, what advice would you give to a developing medium in today's kind of world? Because, there's more people opening up than we realise, especially a lot of men now.
Yeah.
We're both guys, and our journeys are both different, but kind of similar in a way, because we didn't start out as gifted in our young lives or anything like that. It was through I probably say, if I'm not wrong with this, is it through tragedy with me and kind of loss with yourself that we kind of
Absolutely.
really,
Yeah.
really, really opened up to it, and sometimes through our lowest we grow more spiritually. Actually, I would say.
I think that years ago that I would never ever see myself. I
Doing
mean, doing what I do.
that.
But then I always say it's giving back. I'm giving back, and it's like person myself is I can't say no, and now I can't because my like capability of walking at the present moment. But I would say, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll help. It's to me, it's like I'm giving back what I took before, and it's nice. It's just peace of mind.
Yeah. I think it's just like talking to you last night when we were doing the demo for this,
Yeah.
and just seeing your happy face, because last year we were together in the office and we had a laugh in the office with all the fancy graphics and the other software. With balls hitting our heads and everything, It was
Aye.
and it just shows you that we can get around all these things nowadays with the technology, which is a good thing. We can get around the fact that you can't get out your house and whatnot, and we can still give. And with a bit of practice and learning, it took me 3 years to try and figure all this software out. And it's exciting because there's so much that we can do now on air, on live, and I mean we're talking on Twitch platform, on YouTube as well, and a lot of people watch it later on. They don't
Yeah.
watch it all live. So I try and want to make the chat shows as informative as can, fun, and sort of educate people a little bit as well, give back some of our learnings and mistakes, Tommy, because we've made mistakes plenty of.
Oh,
I think one of the biggest things I'm learning, and it's quite hard for me because I love a wee dram now and again, and it's doing the events in hotels where there's a lot of drink. I'm stopping it because I find that it interferes now. I never minded people who had a glass of wine or something because they're nervous coming to see a medium, whatever. But I'm finding that a problem more so now with people. They use that as a kind of, I don't know, it's like people taking drugs and drink. They use that as an escape sometimes. And I find that I was in Bucky and they didn't have the bar open, and it was actually a 10 times better show. And I was somewhere else. It's not they don't sell drink; people bring their own in, and it was far, far better. So it's really made me think about the shows that I do.
yeah.
About the drink and the distractions, because it can be distraction when people are sitting there, and it's how we deal with it as well. Sometimes that takes a lot of energy away from the actual point of the event. So I don't know, because you've come from more of a church background and kind of you don't have. I don't know if you had that problem in some of your events when people have been drunk and whatnot.
I was just I was doing in a chieftain charity event for a young wee boy, and I was looking forward that evening to see the grandparents because the mother and father were down in Great Ormond Street, and they got rushed down. And no, it was you're hyping yourself up to meet them, and then halfway through the show, there was these four ladies, absolutely paralytic, and it was just F and C. I had a few, a couple of non-believers, because I don't remember anything what I say when I'm on platform, and when I do one-on-ones, but this gentleman stood up and came to the front and said, "How can you tell that guy is like absolutely like rubbish?" He said, "He just gave me the information where my mother passed, the room number that she passed, and information about her wedding ring." He said that nobody knew that. He said only the close family. And they just put their glasses in and walked out. So I think spirit and spirit shouldn't mix.
Exactly. And I think it's a lesson I've had to learn, and because I always thought, I've always thought that, some people go to these events, I've never ever been to see a medium or anything like that in their lives, and they just go in. And I've done small pubs and stuff like that in the past when I first started out. And I don't just do the mediumship, I do other things as well, Tommy. But I've found it more and more difficult lately. And I remember being in one in Elgin and there was a whole table steaming. But I went round and whispered in her ear and I said, if you don't shut up, right, I'm going to tell everybody about this, that, and the next thing. Woof. It's like, well, shut up. And I've done it in a bar when people were winding me up when I was first started out, maybe 2 or 3 years into it. And it was mates and that, they were winding me up and whatnot. And it's like, go and tell us something. And I went around every single one of them, pointed my finger, because I was feeling a bit down that day. And I was just like, right, I'm going to show them, right? Two of them walked out. One was in tears, and I went, oh, I felt so bad after it. But you know what? That was their lesson to learn as well. As well as mine, not to go on. Yeah. And I think that's been a big lesson for me because there's no right and wrongs really anyway. And I think it's the path that we choose. Because we're guys, I've come from that working class background, like a wee pipe myself now and again. Not so much now because I can't because of the diabetes, but always well behaved with it because I always say there's nothing wrong with sitting and have a cup of tea or a drink or whatever and just relaxing. Nothing wrong with that. And whatever takes their fancy, as long as we don't overdo it. Because then you don't appreciate it.
Ex-army, overdone it.
I'm trying to be polite here because I've overdone it a few times with the ex-offshore and all that. And we do stupid things, but we learn from it and we move on, and we'll continue making mistakes. It's part of growing up. It's part of the spiritual journey, And spirit like to have fun as well,
I like I like people in my circle. I give them the chance to progress because it's very important that you've got to be there behind them for the strength, the power, and support them. I was doing an evening in the community centre, Wimberley Community Centre. And when you get them, the guy comes in with the arms folded and the legs crossed and so I like to start off and just to raise the vibration and get the energy going. And I went and I said, right, I've done about 2-3 messages and I sat back down. So I sat and I got drawn to this wee lassie. It was right in front of me. I know when you look at them now, oh, did it pick me?
Yeah.
And then I went over and I was like, oh, there's my next link. I've got him. The guy with the arms. And uh, and it was a gentleman. It was his first time on platform. I'm not going to mention his name at the present moment,
Yeah.
but it was given it, and it was everything that he was given was absolutely 100%.
Mhm.
But this guy's that not, not. So, and I thought, and I said to Karen, I said, listen, I said, that is all wrong. I said, he can take that. And have you got the link? I said, yeah, I've got the link. I said, I'm still linked into him. So he said, right, we'll pull him in. Because it gives other, like when you're starting off,
Mhm.
like that you are not doing the job
Yeah.
that you, and
Yeah.
I felt sorry for him. And
Mhm.
then stood up and said, right, thank you very much, clapped, and you could see, like, it was hurting him. So uh, I, I'll jump up again, and I went to this wee lassie, and she's like, oh, no, blah, 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 blah. And then I went to this guy, and I gave him the same, just differently the way that I turned out
Mhm.
the message. And then he's like, no, no, no. I said, right. I said, that's your first strike. No, no, no. I said, that's your second strike.
Mhm.
And he's looking at me, and I gave him information
Mhm.
that that he would understand. And at the end of the night, he came up to me and totally apologised. I said, it's not me, you should apologise. I said, that's that guy there. He was having an affair.
Yeah.
No, and I did feel sorry for it, like,
Yeah.
because we've all got a place to start.
Yeah, and I think it's that. And I remember I was doing a big event, and the guy wouldn't take it, and it was a very, very last bit of information. And I walked away, said, right, okay, I'll need to stop here because you're obviously not taking it, and I'm not going to waste my time anymore. And I just turned my back, and he went, hang on, you. And he says, everything Derek said was spot on. I was just wanting more. And I went, the cheeky bugger. It's like, because he was pushing me and winding me up when I went, but you're not to take that personally. Because, we are a tool of spirit. We're just a channel. We're in the middle. That's where we're
I
called
used to cross the T's and dot the I's for
people.
them. I gave them everything,
Yeah.
it's like at half time, like the mediums brought me aside and say, right, it's you give the information, don't work it out for them. She
Yeah.
said, everything you're doing is right, but don't cross the T's and dot that. I
Yeah.
thought, right, okay. And we learn by our mistakes.
Yeah. Well, the biggest one I had was a very clairvoyant HP softball in front of me over some lady's head. And I've told this story hundreds of times, but it's just I can see it now because it's a vision, and it was almost like a hot air balloon, but it was like it would not go away. Like it was like real to me, right? And the lady goes, she broke down in tears straight away. I thought, what have I done? It's like, you thought, what have I done? And it wasn't until the end because the medium took over and he closed it because he realised that I was right, but she was too emotional to carry on. So he stepped up and kind of finished it off for me. But she came and got me, so that was amazing. And didn't have a clue what it was about. And then she told me about her brother. Who loved his bacon rolls, big guy. He was getting the warnings about, eating all the fatty stuff and take statins and all that. And he died a week later of a heart attack because she said to him, if you don't behave yourself, you're going to come back to me as an HP sauce bottle. So he was taking the mickey at the same time because he came back as an HP sauce bottle. But see, later on, we were in quiet and in private. This is what I'm trying to say about the drink and all that. When we're in private, it was clear audience, and that's very rare to get
Uh,
total clear audience where they're talking through your ear with her brother and how sorry he was to leave her. And he was only 35. And and he was there for her, and wish he listened and stuff like that. But he was a bit of a comedian. He liked a party as well, and that meant more in private than actually HB's Hospital, which was totally amazing when I tell a story now. But it's funny how sometimes we're not the judge. When Spirit give us something, we're not the judge of what's going to happen.
No, no.
And we don't know the full facts because we're not living with that people 24 hours a day, whereas Spirit or their family were. You know what I mean? And I think people forget that we are people in the middle. We're just a messenger.
That's
You know?
what it is. It's like a jam piece with a jam.
Yeah. It's all about the Christmas stuff as well, Tommy, isn't it? It's like just saying hello, Arlene, if somebody says hello both. And if anyone wants a wee message or a kind of chat or ask a question, please do so. And I know there is people watching, and they're probably just, they're being quiet today. It's maybe the Sunday thing,
Oh,
or they're covering from the Saturday night. It's like, because no, we'll get heaps of folk asking, give us a card, give us a connection, But it's not often we'll have two mediums. It's not often we'll have, two experienced mediums like ourselves, Tommy. And, I've learned from you as well. And we're always learning. It's like, even some of the new ones that come up, we learn from them, how they do it.
yeah.
It's totally, everyone's got a different way. And I've seen people use songs. I've got this song in my head. And it's usually musicians and they're brilliant at it. And it's definitely, it's amazing. And there's like Wendy Slack and Clark saying, "Give me a connection, please." Now the way I do it, Tommy, is we just look at your name, Wendy, and we just tune in at your vibration and see what happens. I don't know if you're picking up when already, Tommy, on
Andy Pandy.
Give us a connection to Wendy, Strack, and Clark. And I just say, if there was any, the way I do it, and you watch the same, if there's anyone around for Wendy, please come into my thoughts. And I just wait for the thoughts coming, Tommy.
Yeah.
Have you got anything there for Wendy?
An 18.
What?
1 and 8, 18.
18, Wendy. Number 18, or a 1 and a 8 separate. I've got, I'm kind of getting very throaty and acidy. It's almost as if somebody had or if it's her, had a kind of chesty, kind of refluxy condition.
Something like a hiatus hernia.
Aye, yeah, that type of horrible kind of, and I've got somebody very masculine, so it's definitely a male above me because I'm visualising a family tree, and it's somebody straight above. Somebody who like to talk as well because I feel like the guy's speaking fast. Aye. I should stop giving and give me a decent message. So
I also feel with the same gentleman, I do feel that that he didn't like doctors or he didn't like the hospitals. There's something to do with injections or to me either if Wendy's on like not the diabetes, but I would say diabetes or somebody's getting blood checked.
yeah. I feel he's a bit of an outdoor person because I've got like the working boot type feelings in my feet. Bit of a grafter, old fashioned grafter.
Heavy hands, but
Aye.
somebody that would take their boots off at the back door.
Maybe that's why he's getting the boots. That's the worst of it because we're 36 behind Wendy, so we'll have to wait for you to reply because we need the voice sometimes and we need the connection so we can get a validation to move on. And we're playing here, but at the same time we're trying to be serious as well. But there's definitely we're both picking up on a male around you, and I feel it's above you, which is normally mum, dad, uncle, whatever, on that wavelength. So you need to give us a wee yes or no if we're on the right path. And
I'm also feeling with this gentleman, there's a small little lady that I do feel that I would have been stout with this lady as well. I know that my rings are still here because she's talking about rings. I do feel this lady would have had. I'm showing me my eyes, so I would see like they're blue, but also feels she would have had problems in around her vision, because I'm finding it quite hard to see whether she wore glasses or she should have wore glasses, or the cataract. Something to do with the cataract.
She's not sure about the lady, but she thinks that's her dad, voting for her dad. So we can ask. I do feel it was straight above me, so it was a father figure that I was kind of
Aye.
picking up, and I think we both agree on that. See if we can get a little bit more. If we are connected to dad. So what both we're doing is we're asking them to come in closer, aren't we, Tommy?
Yeah.
Because we've got a validation now. It's like
That's the initial M connected there.
Like initial M to Wendy. We can always come back to that because that's the worst of this. We can't invite them on right enough, but I've got a little dog around you, Rosemary, because I'm getting drawn to the animal kingdom with you. So I don't know if you've lost a wee doggy lately. It's like 'cause I've got dogs in my head. We do pick up on animals, Tommy, don't we? No, I'm not.
That I can place.
No M that I can place.
It's the month of March.
Month of March. There's a wee validation. The dring. Must be notifications coming through, is it? It's the worst. So, recapping a little bit, we've got father figure, and at number 18 as well, or the 1 and 9. Yes, far away. She was born in March. That's Rosemary. So we could be getting a dual connection here, crossover. So we'll be picking up on Rosemary in the month of March as well.
Right, Rosemary, I want to talk about 3 rings still being here connected to her.
3 rings still being here, Rosemary. Yeah, they don't fit. It's like, well, there's 2 of them. Well, Wendy's saying she passed in March, so we're getting 2. I'm asking the 2 families to separate a little bit.
You'll know because a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I've just got a big Clydesdale horse in. So whether it's for Wendy or Rosemary, that Sunday needs strength at the present moment. So
I think both of them, Tommy. I think they're both using a bit of strength.
I feel like this when I'm getting a horse, it is for strength.
Yeah.
I do feel one of them's got. I know I've got back pain, but I'm just getting a wee pain here as I'm sitting at the base of my spine. And I also feel where it's quite like fire, or like I didn't want to play with fire, or I'm trying to sort something out.
I feel it's within the family or something. I think there's a
bit
of,
I feel like
yeah. I'm going to pull a wee angel card to Wendy. Oh, it ties in with what we're picking up. This is Wendy, you're protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you. I ask you to relax and feel safe. Now that's the angel saying that to you. Lovely card there. And it's a bit frosty, so that kind of saying that there's a bit of, when it's a bit frosty and cold, sometimes relationships with our family or friends is a bit frosty. So there's something going on around you that we feel that we need to sort out. Laughter, is that?
yeah.
No, laughter.
Laughter. It's a unicorn cards.
Yeah, they're lovely. Yeah. So Wendy, yeah, that's definitely for Wendy. I know it's difficult unless we invite you on the chat show to do it, because we need the voice sometimes to keep the connection. But they're not bad with the texts and waiting, because there is a 30-second delay. And Rosemary, I definitely think there's something to do with animals around you, and a bit of a loss there. But I'm pulling the card for Rosemary. Oh, and the angel of happy families. Oh, a happy change or addition that's coming to your family. So I don't know if it's the one that's just came or there's more to come.
Oh,
Again, we have to be careful what we say on here and there about that. But
yeah.
there's good news. There's good news coming. And when you think about Christmas, it is all about birth and rebirth. You know what I mean? And I do feel that I've got something about the Christmas tree not being right. so,
Oh,
so I don't know what that's about. So you need to make sure either the old Christmas tree is working right, or something about the Christmas tree. I'm laughing at it, so somebody's taking the mickey, Rosemary. Maybe you haven't got one up yet, and somebody's wanting to put one up. Stephen's wanting a connection. See if you can tune in to Stephen, Tommy, because I know him quite well.
I do feel very connected to spirit with this soul. Very, very well. But I do feel that with him, like there's something holding him back. I just felt like the way do you know, it's like what I'm getting, it's like braces, and I'm getting my braces pulled back. I don't know if he's having problems with the teeth or somebody around him is having problem with the teeth. I do feel that there is a fatherly connection in the spirit connected to him.
Mm-hmm.
But also feel as I do feel this gentleman. Oh, geez, I do feel that this gentleman would not believe in this. I do feel that. Am I right in saying, Stephen, that you do doubt your own connection to the world of spirit? I do feel that it seems to begin like it's like even in dream state, it seems to be getting stronger.
Mm-hmm. He has, yeah, he's very good and just doubts it. But one of the problems that Stephen's got, he's a baker and he works night shift all the time, so he doesn't get the time to maybe come in more courses or develop his skill because he's working a lot of evenings, and I think that's what holds him back sometimes. And I think I always get that around him is that frustration. I think you're picking up on that. And that causes doubt as well. It's like,
But
the frustration.
getting yeast a riser, so it's
Yeah. And Rosemary just put up her Christmas tree, so how ironic is that? Maybe something's fallen off it. It's like,
is it upside down?
I always think about mine up today. We'll have to be tomorrow. I've got the same card for him. Look at that protection and stuff like that. You're protected from all types of harm. The worst is behind you. I ask you to relax and feel.
The root canal treatment next year.
Yeah.
That's like
That's my granddad, right? So it's his granddad you're connecting to. Yeah, I know we're quite close, and
to me, it's I like in-laws and outlaws that I don't get. I just get the fatherly connection. So I would have had like a time where he would have been with Stephen, and it's like teaching, just sitting one away.
I've seen me when I'm struggling, even with names and stuff. I just visualize a tree, and it's like in my mind, if I get drawn way to the side, I can figure out it was a cousin or a nephew or whatever. So I can kind of go. It's like, but sometimes I always feel, I feel this, Tommy, that it depends also on how much they know in the spirit world, how they can communicate what they've learned themselves, how they can lower their vibration to communicate to us.
It's like back to school again with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what we learn here. It's like, wow, we've got to relearn everything back and just to bring it forward.
Yeah. And it's I think it's good fun when we get people who are really good at communicating coming through, and pull an older soul or a guide or and it's like, see when you're not sure, and I've seen myself, and you ask for a higher person or a guide or whatever the divine saying, could you just double check this information I'm getting? Then you get like, no, it's right, and you get like a school teacher, no, just give what you get, or you get, no, you're right, that it's been delivered wrong, and then you get a stronger, really strong message, because we debate with whether it's our higher self or God or whatever whatever you believe in. We ask questions, Tommy, don't we?
I communicator. I call God. There's
Yeah.
this communicator, the creator,
Yeah.
because we're all ruled under one.
Yeah.
I don't know where the young soul connected to Stephen. I do feel that he would have passed in tragic circumstances, because I've just got my son-in-law through here, David, and I know that he passed in tragic circumstances. So I don't know if David is connected to the family, or David is out with, or somebody that would have been like connected to the family, or like on a friendship, but somebody that would have passed very, very quickly. And I do feel between 22 and 25 in and around that area.
Yeah. I've definitely got that kind of connection as well. I feel quite sad around it. But it's maybe somebody he's been connecting to as well. It might necessarily not be for you, Tommy. It might be for somebody, for Stephen. It might be for somebody, one of his friends as well. Because we're trying to help Stephen with his mediumship and stuff like that as well. And he does pick up. Yeah. He was my cousin, so that's maybe Rosemary. The connection we've got for her. That's interesting as well. It's like I wonder if Rosemary's on. Does anyone want to come on live and we'll do a demo on live on that screen? Does anyone, because I can send an invitation. I'll take a copy. See if anyone's up for it. Totally random, eh?
Rosemary, can you take August, the month of August, for a birthday anniversary?
Put the link on to come on live. See if anyone wants to come on. So we're giving an invitation to anyone to come on, and we'll do a little demo. Because then we don't have to wait for the 30-second thing. It's patience. Yeah.
Patience is the virtue. Oh no, I can go. Oh, that got engaged in August.
Do you regret that now? I better not say that. I'll pull a card instead. Your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Have patience and faith, and don't try to force it to happen. That's for which doesn't regret it. Well, it's going to come. You want to come on, Rosemary? Just click a link if you do, and we'll give you a demo reading. You just need you can do it through your phone as well. What about Stephen? Do you want to come on, Stephen?
Let go stress, Rosemary.
We're all being very shy.
Rosemary said yes.
We'll click the link and I'll see if I can send it privately. Rosemary. Mother and son together. Well, they're all been a bit shy tonight, or this afternoon, yeah. Yeah. Hi, Helen.
Good afternoon.
Helen, if you want to come on live and get a demo reading, click the link that's on there. Stephen and I, yeah. Just so we can get in real time, we can get a demo reading. That'll be really interesting. I've never tried this on here, but it's good. Hi, Helen.
Because then the link just gets stronger and stronger.
It does when we get it on. I've got a little bird that's come to my window, so that's telling me there's a spirit around. Lose the link. Use the link. It's like, oh, you've lost the link. I can send it privately. Go into the Stephen. Right. Both called the same name, isn't it? That's funny. We've got the same second name. I just realised that. Rosemary Lowe and Stephen Lowe. That's interesting. If anyone wants to come on and get a demo reading, just click the link that I've sent you. It's like, I think they're all scared. Yeah. I'll put that. Oh yeah, you can't click it. That'll be here. Let's see they come on. Anyway, as we're waiting for one of them to click the link. If not, we can. So, how's Helen? How's things in Aberdeen just now? So we'll pull you a wee card, Helen, as we're waiting. We can't see the link. I've just sent it to you, Rosemary, in your Facebook Messenger. Here we go. Here's Stephen.
Hello.
Oh, hello. How you doing? We'll put you
on. Yourself?
We'll go like that. That's better. It's like, so was Tommy hitting the nail there?
Yeah. I've been bothered with my teeth since would have been the last time I seen you. I had thought it was just a sensitive tooth, and I went to the dentist, obviously, and she said, no, you've got damage in your root. Take it out, or you get root canal. And then I said, take it out. She proceeded to say, well, the x-ray that I've took, if I take it out, well, you're going to be left with a hole in your mouth, and it's going to affect your sinuses, and you're going to be bothered. So it's safer to get a root canal. So I'm getting that next year. And yeah, as you know, I do doubt myself sometimes since, that for a while. That's why I was to see Wendy, as I said last week.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would be my grandfather. He didn't believe in this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But which grandfather it is, I'm not sure, because my father's grandfather's passed over and my mother's father's passed over as well.
I do feel connected to your dad.
Yeah, well, for a first, when you said father figure, I thought it was my mum's father, and then when I sat and thought about it, I went, no, hold on a minute, because he's obviously he communicates with me himself. But then I thought about it, went, no, that's my dad's dad.
He just wouldn't believe in
No, no,
what we're
never.
doing. Well, he doesn't doubt you anymore. But I don't feel it was the kind of gentleman that I want to come up and hug you. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Oh no, hell no, no, never.
Would that make sense? Because I
Yeah,
just felt the way that he is coming forward. I do
yeah.
feel I'm a very smart gentleman. Uh, and, and,
Um,
and I don't mean dress wise, I mean,
no, no, no. Well, when you said smart, and I'm thinking, well, he was far
no,
from. Yeah, he was
where's,
far from. He was
where's
far
the
from.
language?
No, he was far from just smart. But I would, yeah, I would have said he was a very,
He's
very
a
smart
very
man.
intelligent gentleman.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I do feel he wouldn't use it to the best of his ability.
No, I don't think so.
And then it's strange how he's very close to you at the present moment. I do feel I get breathlessness with him. So I just felt like that they would have had bronchial problems, please. But all,
Yes, he did. I can
just go on.
always remember. Pardon. He had a machine because he was asthmatic, and I always remember he used to be on the machine every time you got into the house. But what he died of, I can't remember. You would really have to ask my mother. But he did really have bad breathless problems.
I do feel there was 3 people next to him when he did pass.
I believe my father did make it, and my grandmother obviously been there, but I can't. I'm not very 100%
There
sure
was, there was 3 people.
because I was only about 14 or 15 at the time when he passed, so I'm not really sure.
He was a stubborn man,
Oh, very stubborn.
right? Because well, he's not changed.
Doesn't surprise me.
No changed. And you didn't want that because I do feel that the people who they are, that's how they go. They get all that and it'll come back. But I
Mhm.
do feel it's like he must have like vegetables or he liked the vegetation plants. I just feel I just want to go out in the garden with him. If
Oh,
that,
yeah, yeah,
right? Because
he had
I'm
a
on my hands and knees with him.
yeah, he had a his garden was massive. He used to hit.
Because but I I would call him a man with ants in his pants. He just couldn't sit still for 5 minutes.
No,
Would
he was
that make
always outside in the garden.
always?
Always.
I would call him Arthur Daly. Uh, if he had one thing here, a pen, right? I would sell that for a fiver. But I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I know that. But I do feel that it's like this this time of the year. I think he would have went into his shell, and I don't mean it in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
I feel that is it's like
Hmm.
because I do feel that he wore a mask, but I do feel but inside there was a heart of gold,
Hmm. Yeah.
definitely because and he is proud of you. He
That's
is
okay.
very proud of you, and and it's for us to take this. What I would say that your journey is like it's begun.
Oh, well, as I said, Derek Ken's Wendy, and she's told me you need to start focusing on what you've got to do. You need to start meditating every second day or every day and start yourself out. So I've been doing it this week, and I've a lot of strange things have happened that's come through, or a lot of strange things have happened, and it's been like, God, if I wish I'd done this earlier, I would have got a lot more bloody answers than I did.
You do. You must send out a lot of healing because as I'm looking at the top of your head, I'm seeing a lot of purple there.
Okay.
So I'm seeing but you're very sensitive.
Yeah.
But I also feel as well, it's like the hearing. Uh, I'm not, and it's like you've not got tinnitus, it's spirit trying to connect to you, and it's just that we need to try and, what I would
Yeah,
say, just fine tune.
yeah, because I'll be standing and work and I'll be like, oh my God, that's the hell's that? And somebody will look at me as though I'm an idiot and I'll just turn around and go, oh, somebody's trying to speak to me or tell me something, and they'll just
Yeah,
walk out with them. Yeah, it's always my right ear. The left one never bothers me. My right ear is like, oh my God. And then kind of dissipates and disappears. And then eventually somebody comes through with a focus or do what I'm meant to be doing. And,
but I'm more focused on the gentleman coming through on the right hand side and the females with the left hand side.
right. The
Because this is,
female would be his daughter. It would be my auntie, probably.
she had something to do with the blood or something. I do feel like, uh, well, it'd
Hmm.
be then, like, I would
I'm not
call it's like black blood, or our blood wasn't right, if that makes sense.
No, not that I'm sure of. I know that she did have. I'm not very sure what she died of. As far as I can remember, I think it was cancer, but I'm not very sure.
That to me is the exact same. I don't get cancer. I just get the black blood. To me, it's the exact same.
Okay.
It's a formality. But she must have thought she was the queen. Because I just felt, oh, like give it a wee wave. But
Hmm.
a kind and gentle soul, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The 23rd of a month is very significant into you, pal.
Okay.
Will it be a birthday or anniversary?
23rd of March. Not that I can think of.
Like 2 and 3. If it's not, it'll be the 2 and 3, the number 2, which would be February, and the number 3 would be March. So it's like the 23rd or the 23rd of a month. Definitely, because he's pressing in like 2 and 3 in my head.
Right. Okay. I can't remember when my auntie's birthday was, but I'm sure it was February, but I can't remember. My mother would know better than I would.
Your mother's still here,
I believe she is. Derek would be able to tell you if she's still on.
right?
Oh,
Because
yeah, my mother. Yeah, my mother's still alive. Yeah, Rosemary was my mother.
Oh, I see. There was a connection because we both felt connected. Yeah, because
Yeah,
she was,
Rosemary.
and we were right picking up the same
Yeah,
information.
Rosemary. Rosemary is my mother.
yeah,
I clicked a link to her that she probably doesn't understand, and I sent it to her again to see if she wanted to come on as well, because also we're picking up on the family here.
Hmm.
Yeah,
She would probably tell you a lot more, obviously, because she's obviously a lot older than me, so she'd be able to say a lot, explain a lot more than I would.
yeah.
I just felt Mum's energy was just a wee bit low.
She hasn't been the greatest recently, but she's a lot better than she was.
Aye,
Yeah.
because I just felt like it's like a up and down. So I
Yeah.
just felt like it's been up and down.
Hmm.
So what was with it? Did your mum have a dog or a cat or something that passed over?
My first dog, she passed away. Can't remember how old it was, but as soon as you said March and you said little dog, I can't remember it was because she was born in March.
Aye,
It's a little West they were had.
aye, because there's definitely that animal around
Oh,
my feet.
she's always about. It's just my mum says she's never far.
Yeah, because she's definitely there. But it just shows you that it is a lot easier when we get somebody's voice,
Yeah, yeah.
as you know, in the workshops. That,
Mhm.
but we do get, we picked up quite well, Tommy, considering we're getting texts and we're 30 seconds behind.
Aye.
And it just shows you that Spirit have a funny way of getting through to people.
Yeah. Oh, pardon me.
Yeah.
Stephen, did you psychic draw? Do you doodle?
Yeah, I
No.
draw. I used to draw, and I recently drew a picture of the boy at my work. I work with as a cartoon, and I've kept it and I've hid it in my bag so that nobody else could see it. But apart from that, I haven't drawn anything in years. Apart from that, because I was quite proud of the picture I drew of the boy at my work, but I haven't done anything with it. I've just left it in my pocket for.
Handicap.
That was one of the.
It is quite good. Even the boy at my work kind of looked at me and laughed and went, "That's quite good, actually."
Because that is a way of communicating. Because we did the psychic, we did automatic writing in the last one,
Okay.
workshop, and we did some drawing. And last weekend's workshop with a past life, Angela, as we were hypnotising somebody, she drew a picture of the woman that she was talking about, and it was like a Victorian woman. And when she
Okay.
showed it to the lady, she was blown away. That's what I seen in my head. That was that type of woman. That's the dress she was wearing, and it just shows you that some of the
Yeah.
images we get, we write them down. They all mean something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But no, as I said, this week's just been, as I said, I've meditated every second day, and every day I've meditated has been something different that's come through. I just thought it'll be the same thing, but every second day I've just been, bloody hell, it's been something different every day. I did something this morning, and I was like, okay, wasn't expecting that, but no,
Yeah.
as I say, just needed a kick of the arse and have a go at it, I think.
Yeah. But see when you connect, and Tommy, I'll tell you, when you come on here and connect and stuff like that, it's you feel the love, Stephen,
Yeah.
and it's such a privilege in some ways to feel somebody else's family's love, and
Yeah.
that dream feeling, and it can give you a little boost. It can give you a little high sometimes, Tommy, can't it?
It does, aye.
Yeah, it's like a drug. Something I want more of it. It's like
Well, I mean, that is it. They've dangled the carrot to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're taking that wee slice and you're like, well, I like that.
Mhm.
And so they'll just,
yeah. And it's and also having fun with it, because I think it's having that, and you've got that witty sense of humour as well,
Yeah,
Stephen.
well, that's what I said to Wendy, and Wendy says, well, just use it. Don't hide behind it. Use it.
Yeah.
If Derek's told you to use it, just use it. You've
Yeah.
been told you've got it there. You can use it. You don't need to be scared or be afraid of going on platform and doing what you enjoy and what you want to do. Don't doubt yourself.
And well, certainly when we're coming up, I'm coming to Aberdeen, and then when Tommy
Yeah.
gets his other hip replaced, we've got a few ideas for some more courses and events, and we love bringing people on, Tommy, because we love to share.
aye, absolutely.
Some people helped us when we started out, and it's not all about the money and stuff. We'll have to pay for premises and stuff at certain
Well, that's
times.
true.
And I enjoy making the soup and sandwiches anyway. So, but one of the ones I think you'd be very good at, and I say that to a lot of people, especially Angela, is trance. And both me and Tommy, once he's better, talking about doing a trance workshop, and that's slightly different, but
Okay.
quite exciting to do. But we do need two experienced mediums there, Tommy, don't we?
Yeah.
Because somebody has to control the other.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And that's something worth watching, isn't it, Tommy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just with the face changing and let them come through.
And if you've got chubby cheeks, it's even better.
Yeah.
That's my excuse.
I don't know. I can't fit mine, is it?
So what would you say, Stephen? You're a lot of a fella on than a lot of other people. What would you say to somebody who's getting insights or getting feelings or maybe getting freaked out? What would you say to them? What would advice you give now? You've come a long way in the last 2 years.
I would have said last week, was after seeing when I said no, I would say don't do it. Just go for it. If you feel there's something, just go for it. Because I said something about as you know, my wife last night, Friday night at my work. The young woman at work would turn and went, "Do you fantasize about her or dream about her or something?" And I just started laughing. And she goes, "What are you laughing at?" I goes, "Nothing." And she's in my head laughing because he's saying this. And I'm like, well, I can't exactly say, oh, blah, blah, blah. I just stood there and laughed and walked away. But if you're doubting yourself, doing it, just go.
Yeah.
Just
to explain to Tom, his wife hasn't appeared yet in this life.
No,
His
nothing
wife
like
in
that.
spirit. Yeah. And she will appear in this life. You'll know.
Yeah. But no, she's apparently my twin flame, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Twin flame.
Yeah. When Wendy said last week she's your twin flame, you are going to meet her. It's definitely going to happen. So do as I'm told and go with the flow until just now.
Yeah.
But no, I would say, yeah, I still have my doubts now and then. I still think, why am I bothering? But when I'm getting things right and I'm enjoying it, it's like, no, so I'm going to keep going with this. Why should I let other people tell me fidelity and make me feel small just because they don't believe in something like this?
Listen, you
Exactly.
do what suits you.
Exactly.
Yeah, precisely. Do something that you enjoy. Not
Yeah.
everybody enjoys the same thing. Tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's what's needed is more of the masculine energy coming through, because we have to connect our feminine sides, because that's the intuitive side when we're doing the readings, and it's Helen saying so true as well. And I think having that masculine strength and stubbornness sometimes, because we've got to take control,
Aye,
is
precisely.
a gift as well. You know, is a gift as well. So never be frightened of being your true self or being your authentic
No.
self.
Right
That's it.
there.
Because that's we're talking earlier on about. I'm feeling it now uncomfortable, and I didn't used to. Is having drink at an event, and I found the last two events I've had, there's been hardly any drink, and it's the night's flowed. There's been fantastic connections, and I remember when I did last year, and with a whole table of steaming drunk people, and it was really hard work. And I think I've learned a lesson. It's time to stop people having a drink now at the shows. And I used to say, not a problem. And it sidetracks from what we're really trying to do, and it disrespects it. When it's like how hard it is for them to come through and connect to people like us, and how long we've took to develop that skill, and
Oh, it's true.
people dinging it will having getting steaming, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I've learned that lesson.
But just talking about drink, last time I went out and got really, really drunk, my head was just full. I was like, where are all these things coming from? Why? I'm walking up the road with a pizza in my hand thinking, I should be kind of boo. Why the hell's all these speaking? I was like, nah, I'm not drinking again. This is just not happening. I just can't do this. Well, if I want a drink, I drink in the house nowadays. Or if I go out, I just have a couple because I'm thinking, nah, no. I need to be able to control it. And I need to be sitting in the pub getting completely utterly arsed and be like, where did that come from?
It's
It's
true
just,
because you relax and
yeah,
the door opens.
yeah. I was just like, as I said, I'm just walking up a main road, cars going past, nothing in sight, and I'm like, where's that coming from? There's nobody in sight.
Yeah.
That's no, I'm not getting that drunk again. If this is going to keep on happening.
That's brilliant, Steve. And this is what we're needing to talk about, and this is the idea of these chat shows coming on, is to say, look, we're just normal people. We are. We're learning how to use these gifts and skills, and there's no set or right or wrongs. But we've had teachers, Tommy, and we've had people that have helped us. And
Yeah.
like Tommy works different to me, or sometimes work very similar, and we'll learn stuff in the way you do it. And it's like, but there has to be that respect where we've got to
Yeah,
I say that respect that we don't have drink, respect that we can't just say we're getting a connection without, you know, doing a bit of experience and having a little bit of training first
yeah.
and fine tuning it. I think it's the fine tuning it to be respectful and learning about the laws and what we can and can't say in public as well. It's really important because we
Well, that's good.
don't want to end up
Somebody, yeah, someone come into your door and saying, "By the way, I'm suing you because you said such and such was going to happen," and it didn't. Yeah, you can't be doing that.
That's
Just-
like when I do readings, I used to tape all my readings.
Okay,
So you've got that
back
backup.
up. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, it's just strange. You know, as you know, David.
Yeah.
Well, I told another friend about it a couple of days ago, and he just didn't ask nothing. He just went, "Well, you enjoy it, keep doing it."
Yeah, that's it. I think it's you're inspiring others, Stephen. So
Yeah.
people look to you, and we find it's like you'll find when you go. Like I went to Stansted Spitzers College,
Hmm.
and they told me I was a teacher. And what do you mean I'm a teacher? I was like, and it ended up by the end of the week, I was teaching. I was helping others because
Yeah.
the people were coming, and we self-taught, and it's quite a lonely path when you self-teach and you learn.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the thing.
but when you look back in your life and you see we've not been self-taught, it's actually like I was a public speaker with a trade union movement, and I'd experienced public speaking and channeling. because I'm dyslexic. I don't write my speech. I just give it as I get it.
Mm.
And then you think, well, I've already had that. So we're teaching that back. And that's what we've learned. And it's a combination. But I did learn a lot about the energy side of things from the Stansted College, Tommy. I don't know what you find when you go down there.
Yeah.
Is they're actually, I would say, further ahead than some other people because it's a science. Spiritualism is a science as well as a religion in some sense, is it?
Yeah, that's true.
A science, because we're still learning. And the science is catching up with some of this stuff.
Oh, we're always learning. Always, no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's there's so much on TV now about the two sides of the brain and whatnot and how we connect. And I think the psychic barber, what do you call him?
Gordon Smith.
Gordon Smith, he's been experimented on quite a lot.
Never heard of him. I'll have to look him up.
Well, read his books. His books are amazing. Very down to earth guy, like ourselves. And very.
His son's his manager.
Mhm.
Okay.
He done one episode of Most Haunted, then he refused to do any more shows because it's not real mediumship that they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, just
in his book he says they want me to give 3 validations. He can't give 3 validations if I wasn't getting any. But I says I can tell him his granny's here, his mother's here, and that curtains look quite nice. As he said, he says, but I'm not going to make up stuff for the sake of making it up.
No, it's true.
I admire him for that. You know?
Mm-hmm. As you say, it's funny because I'll be making tea one night, and I'll get you putting that on that, and I'm like, why am I put? Remember, I'm a better cook. I'm like, wife, I don't even know you. How do I know you're a better cook than me? Oh, well, don't put that in there. You're the baker. I'll leave you to do the baking. I'm the cook. I'm like, oh, well, you just get it. And sometimes I feel like strangling her, but I can't. It's like, will you just let me make my tea and let me get on with what I want to do instead of telling me I can't do this and this and I can't do this and I can't do this. She's like, oh, well, you don't enjoy it when you eat it. It's your own fault.
It sounds like it must be an ex-wife's a spirit guide from a previous life.
Oh, I'm beginning to wonder.
The ball and chain.
There's definitely something, but no.
Yeah. And anyone else is like we're all off our heads here.
I'm not bothered. They can say if they want. I'm past caring nowadays.
Well, I'm just saying to people out there that's watching that if they're in the forest area, I'm doing the Spiritualist Church tonight. I think it's 18. I can never pronounce it because my dyslexic sound, but it's Angel
Anglican Church.
Aye, okay. And it's the Masonic Hall in the forest. So it's easy to remember. It's 7:30 tonight, and I'm wearing a Christmas jumper today because I want to get into the Christmas spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It is December. It's like, I disagree with the November stuff. I don't think we should put Christmas trees up in November.
No, that's just a heap of
rubbish. I think it's getting too much now. It's
can't be done. No, put your Christmas tree up in the middle of December. Can't be done with November. Just no. I haven't even got my Christmas tree up.
Yeah.
I don't got a room for it.
It's nice to have the dangly lights on and kind of get into the Christmas spirit type thing. And I do think it's about, as you say, the Christ Mass or the Christ energy. Well, it is in some ways, but it's about the magic of Christmas, I think. I think it's the giving and receiving and creating new memories at Christmas as well. And people get so, it's like, oh, I miss my loved ones because they died at Christmas or whatever. I think we've got to move on from that and create new memories. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But anyway, it's been fun having the 2 years on and having that unexpected. It just shows it's better to have. Maybe I shouldn't spontaneously invite more guests on more often, Tommy.
Yeah,
that's very true.
I mean, it is better because like it's the vibration.
Yeah, well, as I can see now, it is a lot easier than I thought it would be. I always thought, well, no.
Yeah, it's because we can react to what you're picking up. There's that 30-second delay and people typing. So that's we'll maybe do that. When Tommy's stuck at home and he's been getting frustrated. So that's why I suggest he come on here. But But we'll get him working.
What now?
We'll get him working anyway.
No problem.
You know me, Eric. I love working for Spirit.
Well, as I say, you miss it when you don't do it. See, when I take a break, like, it's like, I need to go. You pick up, like, just like you say, Stephen. I'll be in the town and I get drawn to people. And it's like, how the hell am I going to get to this? How am I going to get to this person? And sometimes you're like sending them healing, but you bump into them another time, or something happens that you end up giving that message. You'll meet them at the church, or you'll meet them at one of your shows, or you'll be sitting next to them in a bus or something.
Oh, it's weird. It really is. Really daft. As I say, I'll leave work some days and I'll walk along the road and there'll be nobody going a boot and I'll be like, okay, I'm just finished work. It's just so weird. But you just, as you say, you just kind of need to connect and figure out what it's all about and then kind of figure out who the message is for. 9 times out of 10, it's for nobody that I can. And I'm like, well, how do I approach them without them looking at me like I'm an idiot or running half a mile down the street away from me? You know what I mean?
It's not true. It's like, this reminds me and you of what we were like when we first started out.
No, precisely. It is just weird. But no, as I said, for a couple of weeks, I was this last month or so. I was not that would do. But as I said, after speaking to Wendy, sorting myself, I was like, nah, the hell with everybody else. They don't like what I'm saying or what I'm going to be doing. Then tough, that's their problem, not mine.
That's right. You're not responsible for anybody's sayings or actions.
No. If they've got a problem with what I'm doing or what I'm saying, then that's it. They don't have to listen to it. Just walk away.
No, walk away.
Yeah, and I think it's a lesson, and it's great actually having 3 guys talking about this because
precisely.
women that traditionally it was women that would do more of the kind of connecting and whatnot, Tommy, and it's a lot of the females that go for readings and stuff, but it's changing. There's more guys like us who have come from working class backgrounds in a sense that are waking up to the spirit world, and yes, at first it's like, am I going nuts or something? Am I going crazy? Or it's like my bipolar.
I did. I definitely thought I was going bonkers.
Yeah.
Well, here's one for you. I went to my doctor years ago, and I was hearing like voices.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you met the twins in Inverness, Craig and Deneen. I went there to speak to a psychologist, psychiatrist, and whatever I said to them, I had both of them in tears. But it's like you believe in what you get. Everything that you're getting, that you get it for a reason, Stephen, and even Derek will tell you, you're under good hands with them.
Yeah. Well, it's weird, as I said, I did a meditation the other day, and I'm just walking through the meditation that Derek did, and I'm just walking around, and I'm like, a wedding dress. What's a wedding dress got to do with anything? I'm sitting there going, what the hell? And then something come through eventually, and I'm like, right, fair enough. It was just like this wedding dress just floating in the distance. I'm like, that's a strange one. But once I eventually figured out what the wedding dress was meaning and what the message was for, it was like, well, fair enough. I understand it now. But it was just strange.
Maybe you're doing a pantomime and you're wearing a wedding dress.
No. I eventually got what it was for, but
I'm from the
UK. This felt so weird. I'm like, wedding dress. That doesn't make sense. I'm like, I don't know anybody's getting married. I don't know anybody is thinking about getting married. Nothing. And then eventually I come to me.
But when I get like the wedding dress and white, the wedding dress is white, then it's purification. So
yeah. No, but just thought it's a strange one. Not like.
It's funny, and you have to laugh at it because I think Spirit like to have fun there. Whoever's giving the messages or our guides, they like to have fun as well.
Sometimes I just think, okay, is that strange? And then I just sit and think about it. Okay, fair enough, and maybe it does make sense.
It's quite smart how I got. There was one I was doing a show and I got somebody went like this: you've got your uncle was passed over, he's got 2.5 kids. I went, how can you get a half child? Of course, stepchild.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice way of putting it over. It's like,
It's a strange one, like that.
oh, I get it now. And he put his fingers like, you've got 2, but you've got a half one as well. And I went, oh, that's okay. And you think all the complicated families that we get nowadays, you know?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't get in-laws and outlaws.
Well, I do get that. Sometimes it's like you forget about the mother-in-law because I get a mother figure. And people forget how close we do get to our mother-in-law sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'll say, they're not taking it. I says, what about your mother-in-law? That's a mother figure too. Oh, that's it. Fits her totally. That's it. You know, it's because people forget that the true mediumship compared to the psychic reading, and I like to finish with that, is I could tune into you, Stephen, and read your aura,
Yeah.
and pick off and do that, and you know that. But when you're doing the mediumship, it's totally different. You have to
Yeah.
be a psychic to be a medium, right? Because we have to tune into their aura and their feelings. But it comes like in short bursts and bits and pieces of information. It's not always as
Yeah.
direct as tuning into the person in front of you. But it's very similar. And I don't know if you tried the trick, Tom, when I was showing is you put people back to back and then you get somebody
I do.
away
Yeah.
and you say, carry on, have you got something out yet? And I did that with you, Stephen. And
Yeah.
it's not there's no one there. Like, keep going. It's like,
But no, it's just funny. It's funny you're saying that because the other night when I went to my work, I woke up and I was like, oh my God. It's like a pit of despair and worry in my chest. And I was like, the hell? The whole day on and on. I was like, what the hell? Like somebody been suffering, like their whole family or their ancestors or art, and they've gone through a hell of a lot. And then it was eventually later on when I meditated in the afternoon, I got my answer. But the whole day it was like, oh my God, somebody's suffering.
yeah.
And it was
And
like, oh,
you'll get
it was like having in really, really bad digestion and wanting to be sick. And it was like, oh my God.
yeah. And you get that. And that's what I say to people is that's where it's good to keep a journal sometimes. And I keep notes on my phone.
Mhm.
If you get stuff, is recognise it, accept it, and say thank you for that, and let it go. And it wouldn't interfere with your work the rest of the day. But some people hang on to it.
Oh,
And
I did that. I did that night. I can assure you of that.
it can drain you, Tom. And you're always
I
thinking,
did. I did. I just kept going. Eventually, as I said, once I meditated in the afternoon, I eventually got the answer. But it was bad for a while. Like, and I was like, oh my God.
I call it catchphrase. Say what you see.
Okay.
it's good. Yeah, I like the way you said that. Say what you see. That's good. That's good advice, Tommy. Yeah.
Absolutely say it. And, you
Anyway,
know,
it's near the end of the show. We better kind of go off.
Oh, that's all right.
Thanks, Stephen, for
thanks
coming
very
on.
much.
No
Derek.
problem.
And
No
Tommy,
problem.
thanks for coming on. And we'll maybe do this again and maybe get you
Aye.
doing some readings, Stephen.
Yeah, we'll see. No problem.
Listen, you'll get
Cheers.
you up there.
Yeah, let's do the new thing. A triple reading.
We'll
Yeah.
try our best. We'll try our best. I
Few
did buy.
readings.
I did get new cards for Jules a couple of months ago, and I haven't even opened them yet. So.
Yeah. We could maybe do that near a Christmas. We could maybe do a wee night when you're off.
No problem.
I'm
It's,
going to
it's,
try to
and it's, you'll find that like if Derek's talking, then you pick up on something,
Yeah.
then like and vice versa.
Mhm.
But we all pick up the same things.
same vibration, yeah.
Mhm.
And when I'm sort of developing people come on the platform, if you come on the platform with me, I'd be standing with you, and if I felt I needed to step in a little bit to help you,
Yeah, well, that's the
And
thing I was worried. That's the thing I was worried about. I thought, is he going to do what he did to John the first time I ever got it? Is he just going to kind of right on you go and then walk off and leave me? I'm like, I hope he doesn't do that with me.
that's a good thing. If I did that, that means you can do it.
It's true.
It's
As you said, John did great, but when I said that to Wendy, he's like, nah, he wouldn't do that. I'm like, what about?
Shh, don't say that. You'll scare all my students off.
We've all started at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting the first message over. And once
Yeah.
you get the first message over,
I remember when I was really, really scared one time, and I was just doing a speech at the TUC, and it was in Dundee. I always remember it, and it was like Arthur Scargill stole my key points, and Jeremy Early, the other AU guy, he stole my key points, and I was so nervous. I was only like 22, 23, and I went up on the platform, and all the lights are on you can't see, and I wasn't there. Somebody else was doing all the talking. And I'm going, good, I like that. And it's like me talking, it wasn't me. And
I wish it was that easy.
Sometimes it is. Honestly, I'm saying this for a reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes we take over and channel through it. That's like the transfiguration. So
Yeah.
somebody came through and said that stuff, and then I was first on telly that night. But I came back into the body and it was a yellow, the light, and that gives you a minute. And I finished off the speech the way I was going to finish it off. And I was first on the telly, but that was not me speaking. But I liked what I said, And I think that gave me kind of confidence later on in life that I've just give the best you've got. And I remember doing the ayes and ums. I think I told this story before, Tommy, the ayes and ums sitting there at Stansted. And then that vibration creates something and the transfiguration just kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wonderful thing to be in this. If you're in a protected environment and you're protecting yourself, it is a wonderful.
Well, I had what did I have? An Egyptian ark. I got it last year, a year before for Christmas. And it's been sitting in my bedside cabinet. And once Wendy sorted me out, and nothing I got from Horace was, you will put that on and you will wear it every single day. You work, when you go out, no, I don't care where you're going, you'll put it on. And it's been on for about the last fortnight ever since. I haven't took it off, apart from when I go to my bed, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I've got. And the age of 21, my folks said, what do you want? And I'm not over religious, and I got a crucifix, right? And I didn't come from the Catholic background. I came from the opposite background. But that's my protection.
Yeah. Well, I've got an Egyptian ark which has got a heap of crystals in there. It's like how light and tiger's eye nothing, but he says you will not take it off unless you go to your bed. You will keep it on no matter what.
Protection, you see, that's what that's about. Anyway, we better go because I've got things to do there. But
no problem, it's all right. Nice to see you.
Good talking to Stephen.
Enjoy your evening tonight, pal.
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying it. I've got my Christmas jumper for tonight.
No
and I'm down in Aberdeen next Friday. Anna Horn say that as well. And thanks everyone for listening, and hope you've all got something out of this. And Angela's too. She's shouting too. But I've got a chat show on the Thursday night with Elaine. She wrote a book about psychic vampires and people stealing your energy. Amazing person. So Thursday night we'll be talking about all that sort of stuff again and doing some demonstrations. But both me and Angela are down in Aberdeen, and we're hoping to be down once a month more often. And once Tommy's fit, we'll get up to Inverness and do stuff as well.
Might pop into Aberdeen, see you next weekend. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll be around.
No problem.
On a Sunday, I think a tea party's going well. The tea party's going. So anyway, guys.
Nice to see you. See you later. Bye.